Hello, I'm Dick Hellman of CPAC and Merkel, the Christian Registered Lobby for Israel and the premier think tank that supports CPAC. And I'm here today to cover a topic that has arisen in the news. There's an allegation in a newspaper that Israel is spying on the White House, that devices have been found near the White House for listening to phones and other devices around the White House, as I recall the general allegation in this newspaper article. And of course, as someone who's been in Washington a long time, and someone who was in Army counterintelligence years ago as a captain in Vietnam in the Highlands, the first thing that occurred to me was a play on that old line from Casablanca. Gambling, but in this case we would say spying. Who knew that there were spies from one nation in another? But I won't be that cynical. I'll just say that I don't believe Israel has been spying on America. Not because it hasn't happened in the past, because of course we know it has. For example, with respect to Jonathan Pollard, a whole subject that you've heard me discuss in the past. But it is not to Israel's advantage to spy on America today, because Israel and America are the best of friends and allies, and this administration, President Trump, and the Israel government, headed by Prime Minister Benjamin or Bibi Netanyahu, are on the best terms of any Israel and American government that I can ever remember, or of which I've ever heard or studied. So I don't think it's to Israel's advantage to be spying on the U.S. White House, and again, to be kind of cynical, to be spying in such an obvious way that U.S. counterintelligence and security apparatus could find out in such an easy way that there were devices around the White House. This seems very juvenile and amateur, in addition to being against the policy of Israel and against the current thread of U.S.-Israel relations. So I don't believe it happened. And then the next question, of course, arises, why does the allegation come up? Well, we could hypothesize perhaps some of the people who do not like Israel, and there are a lot of them around. We know of the BDS, the Boycott, Divestment, and Sanctions movement, and other aspects of anti-Semitism, which have morphed over into anti-Zionism and anti-Israelism. So perhaps someone in that universe who do not like Israel, do not want Israel and America to be that close, have planted devices and tried to implicate Israel. And that happens. That's like so-called black propaganda, or black espionage, as they used to call it, which meant one person, one organization or one government trying to implicate another in wrongdoing. But it's pointless to speculate. Was it some anti-Israel group here? Was it some Arab and Muslim groups or pro-Iran groups? Or was it even perhaps, and this is pretty Byzantine, was it perhaps some opponent of Prime Minister Netanyahu in the upcoming elections next week? But that, I think, stretches the imagination, but it's not impossible. Interesting to see what has happened, but I believe Prime Minister Netanyahu that Israel is not spying on America, and I don't believe it would have been to Israel's advantage to do so. So that's a quick take on something happening in the news right now. Thanks for listening. Talk to you soon again. God bless.